Hey everybody, I'm Ebony. This is Ebonee's Creativity. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. Today's video is a part 2 from a previous flip that I did. I hauled these two pieces that I got 2 for $10, so a really good deal from someone local on Facebook Marketplace. And so I've already done part 1. I will link that video below. This video is the matching piece to this. I asked you guys in the first video if you wanted a part 2, and I didn't really get any responses to say that you do, but hopefully you do and you just didn't respond to me asking you to put a comment, because I need to get both of these pieces out of my house, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and flip this piece. This piece did offer me a couple of different challenges, but you can watch the video to see how I got through them. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Thank you so much for watching, and let's hop right on into the flip. Here is this week's project. From far back it looks okay, but if we zoom in a little bit you can see that the finish is really failing. I've gotten paint from other projects on here. There's water stains, there was a bunch of scratches when I got it, so the top is in really bad shape. I am a one-woman show, so sometimes things get damaged while I'm trying to move them by myself, and that is the case with the foot on this piece. This repair really became a pain in the butt, so we'll get to that later. The outside of the drawers have failing finish, but the inside of the drawers is in pretty good shape. Luckily, there is an old liner in here which has protected a lot of the inside, so while I will be discarding the old liner, it did a beautiful job of making sure that the wood underneath it stayed pristine. This is a Drexel piece, so as always they have really high quality solid wood furniture. So that is what we're working with. Let's hop right on into the flip. I'm going to start out by removing all of these handles. This probably should not have taken me as long as it did, but for some reason this took quite a lot of time. There's like 14 pieces of hardware with old rusty screws, and it's kind of difficult sometimes, but eventually I did get all of them off and I put them in a plastic bag to store. Over time I've learned the hard way to always number drawers as I remove them. In order to match this piece with the other piece that I got with it, I'm going to be leaving some drawers bare wood, whitewashed wood, and then I'm going to be painting some of the others. The top row of drawers will be the ones that I'm going to take back to raw wood, so I'm starting out by sanding those with 220 grit sandpaper. I have my orbital sander here, which is 5 inches across, and sometimes that's really difficult to get into the little grooves and the edges on square furniture with this, but I'm doing the best I can with what I have. So this is what I'm left with. So you can see the edges that I'm not able to reach with my orbital sander. Sometimes I hand sand those, but in this case I was able to get that off with my Dremel. While the liners did do a good job of protecting the dresser, they also are holding in like a foul odor, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I dispose of all of those liners. My next step was to use the same 220 grit sandpaper to remove all of the failing finish off of the top. Some people would start out with a lower grit of sandpaper and work their way up to 220. I always just go to 220 because I only have to do it once and I don't have to worry about working my way up. Sanding with 220 gives me a smooth result that I can go ahead and put a finish on. So that's why I choose to just do it the long way from the jump instead of taking the same amount of time basically to work my way up in grit. So now the top is all sanded and it looks beautiful. I have really come to love this stripper, and that's saying a lot for me because I hate using chemical stripper. I think it's messy and it just really makes my process take longer, but in this case I'm going for a specific look and that's the only way I can achieve it, so that's what I'm going to be doing. On the matching piece for this, I have stripped the trim, so I'm going to strip the same areas that I did on that piece on this piece. I'm going in very carefully with the foam brush and trying to only get stripper on the areas that I need to strip. If you're going to use a foam brush to apply liquid stripper, you want to make sure that you are working very quickly or that you have a few of them on hand. I just prefer to use these over something that's more costly because I can just throw these away, but the stripper will start to break down the foam pretty quickly. So this is just a little bit of stripping that I'm doing here, but I would still use these for a larger project. I would just make sure I had a couple on hand for whenever it eventually disintegrates. I covered my stripper with plastic, just cut up Walmart bags, but I really didn't have to because the stripper worked really fast. And so I'm going in with some mineral spirits on some steel wool to scrub off the stripper and any residue. I did work in sections as far as like doing one side of the dresser, then the front side of the dresser, and then the other side of the dresser. But I followed this same process, put the stripper on, wait a few minutes, cover it with plastic, and then wipe it off with the mineral spirit and steel wool. While that was drying, I went ahead and started to sand the corners of the other drawers that I'm going to be painting. And I'm just scuff sanding those, so I did that quickly by hand. I just hit the corners that I knew I wouldn't be able to reach with the orbital sander. And then next I went in with the orbital sander to get the remaining portions. Sometimes when you're working on furniture, it's important to know when to hold them and when to fold them, as they say. So I could have easily sanded down all of the drawers, but that would have just taken a lot of time and a lot more materials than I really wanted to invest. So I always try to be mindful of the amount of time I'm spending on a project versus the amount of money it will yield. Now that all my drawers are scuff sanded, I'm going to go ahead and scuff sand the remainder of this dresser. The goal of scuff sanding is to remove the protective top coat that the manufacturer of this piece put on it. So I'm going to make sure I hit every surface with 220 grit sandpaper. Now I am going to get into these much needed repairs. So I have some Titebond glue here and I've got a piece of veneer that is lifting. So I'm going to put some glue down in there and then secure it with a piece of tape so it can dry. I thought this was just another piece of lifting veneer, but when I further investigated, it was completely rotted particle board. It had swollen. Apparently it got wet at some point, and I just couldn't leave it like that. I wouldn't have felt right just trying to glue it back down and selling it to someone. So I used this screwdriver because that's what I had, just to cut away at the veneer that was lifting. Then I went in with my sander and I just sanded and sanded and sanded and sanded and sanded some more until I felt the particle board was flat enough for me to get a decent looking repair. This is giving me really bad flashbacks to the particle board that was swollen on that IKEA hack shoe cabinet that I did a few videos ago. As I mentioned, I had a pain in the butt repair because the foot broke off on this piece. I've never repaired something like this before, so I had to figure out a way to do this. It broke, it like splintered into a bunch of pieces. So I just took the biggest piece that I could get and loaded it up with wood glue and like tried to work it back into what would have been its original place. This piece really gave me a challenge. I started to scrap this because between the swollen particle board and the broken off foot, I was like, you know what, this is team too much. But I have a matching nightstand to it, and single nightstands are really hard to sell, so I just decided to keep going. I finally got the piece to stop sliding around and to sit in a reasonable position that I thought would make for a good repair. And then I just started to put as many brad nails as I could in this piece to secure it long enough for the glue to dry. At several points in this process, I wanted to give up. So some of you say like I make flipping look so easy. Sometimes there are challenges and I'm still learning as I go. Each project gives me a new experience. So when you encounter something like this, just use your ingenuity, assess what tools you have, what you can do, and work it out because that's what I had to do. There are always shortcuts that you can take just to make something look pretty to sell it, but I really pride myself on selling people stuff that's in good condition, stuff that I would want to purchase with my hard-earned money. And so I wanted to make sure this was going to be a really secure fix and that the foot wouldn't be falling off on the next person. So I loaded this up with nails and I loaded it up with glue and I got this as secure as I possibly could. Once I was finally able to secure that piece, I went in with quick wood. I trust this product because it dries harder than wood and it's moldable so it can fill into the splintered area and just really get into all those cracks and give a nice strong hold. I did apply one layer and then I let that dry and I went back and I did another layer on top of that. After I got that swollen particle board sanded down, I decided to go in with this wood filler and just do layer after layer. I let one dry, went back in, let one dry, went back in, let one dry, went back in, and then I went over the top with a layer of quick wood. So although you don't see it, I did have to do a lot of finagling in this area to try to get it perfect. While I wait for my quick wood and my wood filler to dry, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up the hardware. I'm using a mix of Dawn and vinegar. I'm going to be reusing these pieces, so I'm just going to go ahead and let them soak for a little bit and scrub them with my furniture toothbrush. At this point, I'm just trying to get any oils or residue from this being old and from previous use, dirty hands touching it, all that good jazz. So I'm just scrubbing it with the toothbrush, drying it off, sanding it so that that will help the paint stick, and then rinsing it off again, and then drying them off and then setting them to the side. So now all of my hardware is cleaned and scuff sand. I'm going to take it outside and start to prime them with this clean metal primer by Rust-Oleum. I normally do 2 coats of primer. I do the first one with this little piece that moves, flip down, and then I flip it up and do the second coat. While that dries, I'm going to come back and check on some of my repairs. This piece that I glued down was secured by now, so I went ahead and sanded over that just to make sure it was nice and smooth. And then I did add a little bit of wood filler and sand again just to make sure it was 100% smooth. My quick wood is all dry now, so I'm going back to this pain in the butt of a broken foot, and I'm going to go ahead and sand that down as gingerly as I can. I'm trying to make sure that the whole thing is level with the existing piece. So I'm just using 220 grit, taking this slow, doing it as carefully and thoroughly as I can. I was actually surprised at how good this repair ended up turning out. It took a while and I had to be careful and pay a lot of attention to this area, but I was really happy with how it ended up, and I was very glad that I took my time with this, and it looked really good once it got painted. And this repair is solid as a rock. I drug this back and forth to make sure that the foot wouldn't splinter like it did when it broke initially, and this is on there solid. I really love Quickwood. If you ever need to make a repair similar to the one I made, just use Quickwood because it's the bomb. At this point, this area is almost finished. I did end up doing a couple more coats of wood filler. So this, between this and the foot, this is why my video is up late, y'all. I tried so hard to get this up on time. I'm over here working hard, y'all. So if you have not already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I was a little afraid that the wood filler wouldn't be hard enough to give the kind of finish that I felt comfortable with. So like I said before, I did do kind of like a quick wood lasagna layer up in there, and then I put more wood filler over the top. And I was able to get it as good as humanly possible, I think. Now it is time for me to clean up all the drawers, so I'm taking some Dawn and warm water and just wiping everything down. In some areas, that drawer liner was kind of stuck, so I just laid the hot cloth on top of it in order to get that sticky residue, and then I just scrubbed a little and most of it came up. While the drawers are drying, I'm going to go ahead with this flat black spray and do 2 coats on the handles. While my hardware was drying, I started to go ahead in with the black paint. I didn't prime on the nightstand, so I didn't think I would have to prime on these, but I just did not like the way the paint was laying, so I decided to go ahead in with the primer. Plus, with all the repair work on the body, I knew I would have to prime the body, and I didn't know if there would be a slight difference in color if I didn't prime the drawers and I did prime the body, so I just went ahead and primed these, and this is how they turned out. At this point, I'm just kind of giving you a final once-over up close of my repair work before I end up priming the body of this dresser as well. So as you can see, I did a lot of work here and everything looks pretty good, so I'm proud of the way that it turned out. I went ahead and did 2 coats of primer on the drawers. So now that that is dry, I'm going in with Fusion's Coal Black, and I'll be doing 2 coats of the black paint as well. Here they are as the first coat was just applied and is still drying. We are finally hitting the home stretch, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the body of this, making sure to get inside and every crevice area because old furniture stinks and it's dusty inside, so I make sure to clean everything thoroughly, and I'm going to wait for the piece to dry down and then go over it with 2 coats of primer. I made sure to pay special attention to the primer in the areas where I did all of those repairs. Sometimes you can't see how something's going to look until you have a little color on it, but it looked really good and I was very happy with how it turned out and that I didn't have to tweak it anymore. So after 2 coats of my primer were dry, I went out ahead and covered the body of this in Fusion's Coal Black as well. After 2 coats of paint were dry, I went ahead and brought this in, and now I'm going to be working on my raw wood sections, which I'm going to be using a whitewash to cover. So the first step was to remove all of my paper and tape. I'm using Chateau by Fusion, which is a different color from what I used on the nightstand. I could not find a sample size of the color that I used on the nightstand, and I don't have any more in stock. So hopefully this color is close enough not to make a difference. I guess we'll find out at the end. Out of the samples that were available at the place I get the paint, this was the closest color, so I just decided to go with it. I hope it looks good. And I don't have any exact measurements, but I just put a lot more water than paint. You want this to be as runny as possible. Then I'm just using a foam brush to apply it. You could also apply it with a regular brush or with a rag, but whatever you're applying it with, you're going to need another rag to use to wipe everything back. You want to start wiping in even, gentle strokes across in the same direction as the wood grain. I let it stay on for a few seconds just to absorb some of the color, but I don't want my wood to absorb a lot of the water, so I'm going to be wiping it back pretty quickly. At this point, I've already sprayed 1 coat of polyacrylic, so I'm going back for coat number 2. After that dried, I reattached the hardware, and without further ado, here are some final images of the finished product. In the comment section below, let me know what you think of the finished product. I'll be particularly interested to hear how you think this piece looks alongside its matching nightstand. Here's the side that gave me all that trouble, and aside from one little fleck of something that got into my polyacrylic, it turned out really good. I love the way this set turned out, so if you love it too, please do not forget to thumbs up the video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. If you have the time, please select another one of my videos to watch from the choices in the description box below or on your screen. Thank you so much for watching.